Well, Gaffer, it's off to Oldham this weekend. Obviously, they were promoted from the National League last season. What kind of challenge are you expecting at Boundary Park?
Yeah, tough challenge. Mickey Mellon obviously has been around the leagues, knows his way out of this league. Some great results with teams in this league, and highly respected manager in the AFL. He's going to have his team up for this one, definitely. They've had a slow start, should we say, but they did magnificent to get to League Two from the position they were last year. You got them up for the playoffs, got them through the playoffs, and here they are. So we're not taking anything for granted. We're not looking at the league table and thinking, the league table's 5 games. There's nothing at all really you can tell out of that now. And if we'd have been at the other end of the table, I'd be saying to people, wait and patience. I'm getting this together, and we've got to respect that. That's what Oldham might be doing. We've had some changes of personnel, and I'm sure Mickey will start getting results because, like I say, good manager. I've managed against him a few times, and always been a tough, opponent to come up against. But we're going up there. We'll travel early tomorrow, and hopefully get up there in reasonable time, and we need to be our best in every single game this season. I've told the boys, they need to be on it, and we can't rest on any laurels. I don't think we've done anything special so far. We really want to get stuck into Oldham, and then Bromley, and then whatever comes next. We've got to keep doing it game by game, ticking them off. But really looking forward to going up there, seeing Mickey. I'm being back at Oldham because it's northwest. It's where I grew up, and I remember playing youth team games at Boundary Park, and one of the Premier League founders. So it's it's a special club for me. So I want to go up there and pay it huge respect by being at our absolute best.
I asked the same question to Robbie earlier. How difficult is it for you psychologically? We've been on a fantastic run, but how difficult is it psychologically as the manager to get 19, 20, 21 players to focus just on the next game, forget what we've done? How tricky is that?
Yeah, it's my job. Phil, it's my job to do that because it's the moment you start believing that you've done something is the moment you will fail. One of my massive traits is humility, and what I want my players is to be a bunch that will work hard and will get their rewards that way rather than expecting rewards because they've done something in the past. You have to work for everything in this life. We've really got to put the graft in and put the work in to get anything out of it, and I'll be saying that to my players. They're a great bunch, a real good bunch. I'm loving working here. I'm loving the staff, the fans. It's great, and I think we can be even better. And I'll be asking for more. I want more, and hopefully they can deliver more.
Just finally, from me, we've got a couple of injuries at the moment. Do any of them come into your thinking for Saturday, or is it as we were from?
No, I think, as we said last week, Ewan Williams joined in some training this morning, which was great to see. Seb Palm holding on the grass again. I think Shad's been rested. He did some good sessions last week. So yeah, we're really close to getting some of these bodies back. And there's been nobody new, no fresh injuries from the weekend, and that's where I want it to be. I think that the medical and sports science has done a great job in loading and keeping everyone fit. And fingers crossed, we'll have strong squads going forward now.
Lovely. Gaffer, thanks very much. Matt, all yours.
I wouldn't be expecting those 3 to be involved.
There's a couple of names could well be making the trip. I know Aaron Rowe said one week and he wasn't involved, but they're in that sort of. They're in that sort of vein. They're really close to the squad, and it's just now when we introduce them. That decision, the injury itself, is probably no longer a big issue. It's when we introduce them back into the squad, and loading. This word keeps coming up now in the modern game, and back in my day there wasn't much about that. It was if you're fit, you're back in the squad. But we do it right here. What we can't have is a reoccurrence of injuries. That's the worst kind of injury. You can accept any injury, but a reoccurrence of an injury is a really bad one, and we're going to make sure that we're not going to have them.
Is that made easier a little bit by how well your team are playing without?
And they're part of it. They really are, because people know, they feel in the team. You've got to do well because we've got some good players coming back from injury. We've got some good players on the bench. I think that this football management's never easy, believe me. But it's nice to know that the boys can find different ways to win in different formations and different personnel. That's great to be here and finding out about the boys.
I mean, it's fair to say, isn't it, with all the defensive changes you already had to make, that I wouldn't say excuses exactly, but you could have good reasons for looking a bit unsettled.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it to me.
No, you know, I've come in from day one saying one of our big strengths is going to be adaptability. We're going to be able to adapt to any. People say to me, what formation do you play on? I'm not setting one formation. I'll play the game to win, and I keep saying this. Whatever formation will work on the Saturday, I'll play, and whether that's Robbie McKenzie at centre back, where he's been absolutely outstanding, or putting me back in midfield, where he can do an outstanding job there. You know, Sam Gale, you know, he's played probably all the positions along the back four now. You know, and he's done magnificently well. So I'll pick whatever I think is going to be best for the game, and so far it's gone okay. Like I say, I'll need people there when it doesn't that day. I certainly will. I'm probably the one who's mostly aware of that trapdoor when it comes, because it can catch up on you, it can sneak up on you. But it's my job to make sure that I catch all the boys and make sure that they're not falling down anywhere, or their performance levels don't drop. So that's a big moment for a manager. And but at the moment, great stuff, and really pleased. Hope we get more of the same.
You talked just in passing about Robbie McKenzie there, and Gills fans know how adaptable he is, but I think just outstanding performances for me in the centre of defence. It's it's not about being utility man for him anymore, is it?
No,
Robbie. Is he first name on the team?
Robbie, honestly, I think in the last couple of weeks he's probably one of being the best central defenders in League Two. I think his performances have warranted that title. How he's not made Team of the Week for defence, it's probably because people see him as a midfielder and think, what's he doing back there? He's outstanding. The reading of the game, the way, the calmness that Robbie has, that a real big part of it. He was one of the first players I wanted to re-sign when I got here, and there's reasons for that. He's fantastic. He fills in anywhere, but he's not just a utility man, if you know what I mean. He's your first pick if you can get him in his correct place. And the game determines where his correct place will be as well. I think Robbie could play anywhere. I really do. He's a very, very good footballer, and he's got a real good partnership going at the back at the moment. But the midfield is going to be tough as well on Saturday. We need to make sure that we're very, very good there as well. So I'm not giving anything away where he's going to play.
I know, obviously, the feel-good factor is here because the results, and the team bonding is a massively important part of that for you. But going to Oldham from the outside, people will see you haven't lost, they haven't won, foregone conclusion. Is any danger of that creeping into the...
That's exactly the reason why this is one of the most dangerous games so far. It's exactly that reason, because people will see what you've just seen, and when people don't look underneath the surface, that's when this game could sneak up at you, and that proverbial trapdoor can be there. Like I say, it's my job to make the boys aware of this. I'm certainly aware of this. There is not one game in English football in any season that you can say is a foregone conclusion. Not one, Just look at Man United versus Grimsby last night. There's not one game you can have a look at and say, this is going to go this way. Absolutely not. They're all individual games, and as long as my boys treat them as individual, and the next game, the next job, the next game, the next pass, the next run, that's what I want. I don't need them to go back and go, oh, wasn't I good back there? Brilliant. I told you were good then. Let's move on to the next one, and that's how we're going to do it.
And I'm delighted with the points you were at Accrington and Tranmere with the way your team played there. Could it be a case of that again against Oldham? Is you just have what you hold respect for?
Absolutely. I love bringing things back from our trips on the road. We will always value a point away from home, definitely. We always go for 3. But the last 2 games, we've had to come back into the game to get our point. And I think that's shown great character and great spirit. But I always go with the aim of bringing something back. So I go for the 3. We've got the 1 a couple of times. We'll be going for 3 points at Oldham, no doubt. We know we can beat teams in this league. But Oldham know they can beat teams as well. So we've got to be very careful.
And you talked a bit about their manager, Mickey Mellon. He's been around this level, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Looking forward to pitting your wits against him.
Yeah, I mean, Tranmere, Shrewsbury and Oldham and many other clubs, went above the border for a stage. And a big footballing family, his brother's an agent, his son's a player. You know, there's all sorts of connections with Mickey. You know, real football person, and a good guy. I've always had some real good battles, and I got a lot of respect for him. He does a great job wherever he's been, and yeah, the job at Oldham has been sensational, and we need to make sure that we're at our best to get anything from him.
And the last couple of games, Tuesday the roof came off the rain, and then the whole bit of ground was absolutely rocking. Obviously for fans, this is a fantastic feeling to be unbeaten. Do you need to almost play it down for them a little bit and say we're not quite done at this point? You know, it's 5 games in.
Listen, I want all the support. I want them to be excited. I want the bums off seats. I want them to be excited by the players, but I also want them and know that they are very knowledgeable and know that what we're trying here is football is not. It's not linear like that. The game goes like that for one or another reason. Sometimes you won't win a game or you won't get a result, and they'll understand. I can tell they're good, knowledgeable people. We have a great relationship. There is no rain amend at Oldham, but I'm sure they'll travel and make a portable one up there for me, and that matters because we need them. And so thanks in advance for the travels. I know we're going to take a few up there. And like I say, historic stadium. You know, seen some major moments in the Premier League, Oldham Athletic, and looking forward to going up there and see what we can get.
And just one quick check, transfer window of course is coming to a close after the weekend. Any more you can tell us?
No, we're still trying to get a player in. Yeah, we want one purely for numbers, because we had a certain number we wanted to get to. You know, the ins and outs and the detail of it all in the spreadsheets that we do upstairs. We know why we want this player, and we have targets for this player and what position it's going to be. And if we get them, you'll be the first to know. You know, it'd be great, but there's all sorts that go into it, and I've done some good deals late. I've done some deals early in the window, and I've also not managed to get them over the line in my career as well, and that happens as well. So be ready for all 3 eventualities, guys, because they could well happen. But we're in a pretty good place. You know, I think that I'd rather be where I am than maybe scrambling around thinking we need 2 or 3, 4 or 5 players. You know, touch wood, we've had no injuries, we've had no major. You know, apart from Connor, who was a nasty one, we haven't had anyone like a massively key player. I know some teams have had, like, you know, they rely on one player so much and he gets injured, where do they go then? We haven't had any of that. We're quite a balanced squad. We're quite understanding with each other. We're very adaptable. I'm happy, but I would like to add just one more. Cheers. Yeah, huge. I think they were the first ex-Premier League team to go out of the 4 divisions, you know, and I know Bradford have been there, and they were close at one stage, and obviously Coventry and that, they've all been in League 2, but Oldham actually, unfortunately, went through that trapdoor, you know, at the bottom of the EFL. So to come back, I think is huge. People won't realise there'll be a young generation. I don't know what generation it is. There's X, Y, and Z, and everything else that I don't know which one it is. But I know my generation see Oldham Athletic as Premier League founders, as Andy Ritchie and you know, Marshall and all those sort of players. Joe Royal there. You know, that's the Oldham that you remember, and you know, semi-finals against Man United, FA Cups, things like that, plastic pitch. A lot of my players won't even remember that. They'll just see Oldham as this League 2 conference side that's never been above this. Wow. They need to look at the history books, because it's a huge club with a good history. So getting back in the league, I think it's momentous for them, and they'll want to hold on to their league status to try and rebuild again to start getting back to the glory years.
Going back, you mentioned Grimsby's performance last night. Does that show now what sort of task they can be up against, what sort of task you're up against, if we were ahead of League 2 this year?
Yeah, League 2, honestly, is it's the difference in styles of football as well. Man United don't have that crosses into the box, pepper into the box every week. There's a big style change sometimes. Sometimes it's almost watching a different sport when you watch the Premier League. But you've got to respect all teams at all levels, you know. And I think that Grimsby have really done League Two a favour there and put us sort of on the map and said, you know what, there's some good football down here. I thought there's some great players in the Grimsby side last night. Okay, Man United got back into it, and you've probably felt over the 90 minutes, they had a lot of shots and missed a lot of chances, but that was brilliant for Grimsby to do what they did, because it really puts League Two on the map again. And I think it's been a while really since there's been big cup upsets like that, and so yeah, well done Grimsby, and we'll be coming up there soon. But enjoy your cup run because you deserve it.
Talk about Robbie.
Awesome.
Do you see yourself in as a young player?
He's a lot calmer. Yeah, a lot calmer than me, but he's solid. He's tenacious, very reliable, quite knowledgeable. So I do see probably some traits in him. He's an absolute winner as well. He really is. But his calmness is different to me. He's a real calm individual. It really is, and measured and intense, which is. It's crazy to say because they're clashing attributes, but he has them and he seems to be able to keep them all at the right level. Cracking lad, really, really great lad, and a good player as well. I think Robbie McKenzie is definitely better than League Two, and we're lucky to have him.
Can I just ask you about how Connor's getting on?
Yeah, Connor. Yeah, he's the one I can say is going to be out for a little while. We don't exactly know how long yet. I don't want to put a date on it and put any pressure on him, but he had a calf injury when he pulled up against Walsall, and that was nasty to see for him. But Connor was again a signing in the summer that we knew at the end of last season. He was putting his head on things, chucking his body in front of things, fully committed centre half. And the sooner we get him back, the better it is. But he's all for the team. I spoke to him today, and he just said, as long as we're winning, Gaffer, that's all he cares. And I need players like that, because it's easy when you're injured to think, I hope they miss me, I hope they don't do so well without me. Connor's the opposite. Connor's like, I want this team to do well because I'm part of this team. And it's a subtle difference, but it's a big difference as well. He's a top lad, and hopefully he'll be back soon.
I know we keep asking every week, but do you still have to pinch yourself here and sleep
No, because his performances have been good enough. They really have. We might have rolled our luck a couple of times, but I said to the boys the other day, good teams never give up, but great teams find a way to score a goal. And a lot of teams don't give up. They all, giving up is a horrible thing to say anyone does, but we seem to find a way to score, and we find a way. You've always got hope. I hate referencing the past at times, but at Wycombe, the amount of late winners or late equalisers we had, and you speak to anyone at Wycombe back in the day, it was like, don't leave Adams Park early because you'll miss something. I want that to be Priestfield. I want that to be Gillingham on the road. I don't want you to go because you're going to miss something, because these boys find a way to get a result at the end, and it's a nice habit to have. It really is. Everyone jokes about Fergie time and Man United when they used to do it. It's a good habit to have, and my boys seem to have found that habit, and that's brilliant.